Mm.
Hey, interesting episode.
Yeah, interesting episode. So both, I guess both Andor and Tales of Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Andor, unfortunately, was another one of those slow episodes.
another slow episode, but it looks to me like things are ratcheting up in terms of the tension. I
Yeah.
think in the
Es-
series, it's definitely building up to something.
Especially of what's happened, as they said, on level two.
Level two. I mean, they fried the whole bridge, so wow, it's quite drastic. Yeah.
And no one's getting out there alive.
Mm. So it looks to me like a rebellion is about to happen, like a prison outbreak.
Yep. And I actually didn't expect that they'll get Kino on their side.
Mm. But I think seeing what's happened and thinking, he thinks he's gonna get out, right? Like, because he only has, you know, less than a year left, basically. And
Yeah.
and Olaf was also, he was almost out really. He only had 40 shifts left, which was really just a few days, work. And then he would have gotten out as well. But it looks like,
Mm.
yeah, interesting that even, a prisoner who was already released somehow, still ended up
Back
still
down
ended up
to
dead.
level four.
Yeah.
They, they think that's what changed Kino's mind.
For sure. And yeah, so now it looks like he's gonna he's in to whatever Andor has planned. He's
Yeah.
now in, and that's gonna be interesting what they come up with.
Yeah. Especially since Kino is like one of the heads there. He probably knows all the secrets.
He definitely knows the workings much better. He knows there's less than, that there's never more than 12 guards, you know, so on each bridge, on each level. So they could easily take them.
Yep. So
uh,
yeah, it's building up to something, but we're not too
he,
sure what yet.
yeah, so he definitely knows the vulnerabilities of the system. So I think, yeah, they definitely will come up with a plan. If Andor was able to successfully pull off the Aldani robbery, then I think he can probably manage prison outbreak, prison outbreak as well.
Yeah, and with only three episodes left as well.
Hmm.
What I did find annoying is they were like torturing Bix for like the first 10 minutes. That was
Hmm.
like way too long. It's like
Yeah, I
since
mean,
this is a shorter episode as well, it's like
yeah.
we've hardly gone through anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad episode. It's just it's wrapping up to something. It's just that
Hmm.
it's too spread out.
Hmm. I mean, the most intriguing thing for me was finding out that Vel and Mon Mothma are actually cousins, that um they're related. I didn't know that. So that was interesting. So that's actually, so Vel, I thought, okay, she's a part of the rebellion, but I didn't know that she also had like a completely different persona,
Hmm.
just like Luke, just like Luthen, right? They have this persona on the outside, but then they're secretly working for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm not too sure what's about the intelligence officer as well. What's going to go on with that character?
Hmm.
Like the ISB agent and that other guy.
Yeah.
Will
Hmm.
she turn as well or not?
Yeah.
He let he let the guy off, but then if he gets caught again, she probably won't be as easy on him.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting to see like
Hmm.
the imperial side as well and their own political side.
Yeah.
And still torturing Bix. It does seem like the Imperials still don't know that they're in prison.
Yeah. It's well, Bix wouldn't really know.
Yeah, Bix
But
won't
that's
know, and the Imperials apparently don't know either.
Yeah, I mean, there would be no point in questioning her further because all she can really tell them is when was the last time she saw Andor, but then she had no idea where he was going after that. She knows nothing else.
Yeah. And it's
Um, and that's where
and
the
yeah.
deed lies, like sort of, it ends there because she doesn't know the buyer really.
Mm,
He's kept his identity a secret from her. So his true identity is also a mystery to her. Um,
yeah. But it does seem like the rebels know that Andor got a lot of the money.
mm.
But if he's in prison, where'd he hide it all?
Yeah, he must have had some way of stashing it. I guess maybe his mother would know, or his foster mother would know. Um, they haven't questioned her yet, so we don't know how much she knows or how much Andor told her before he left.
Yeah. But I believe no one in the rebellion even knows that Andor has been captured yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird dilemma since
Mm.
both the rebellion don't know where Andor is, as well as the Imperial Empire do not know where he is.
Yeah, no one knows where he is. Which is the funny thing.
Yeah,
He's definitely very slippery, and especially because he's changed his name a few times. Besides, they don't even know he's Andor, right? The rebellion doesn't know his real name.
yeah.
Uh,
And apparently they said that he probably shaved his beard.
hmm,
Like, okay,
yeah.
he must
So
have changed
even
his look somehow.
yeah, yeah. So even if they did capture someone from the rebellion, say they wouldn't know his real name.
Hmm.
They think they think they were talking about someone else. So it's really quite clever of him. And also even with the prisoners, he gave them a different name. So when he went into prison, he went in under a different name. So that how would they track him? He didn't go in as Cassian Andor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a weird dilemma, but
Yeah.
we still have to wait until he can get out of the prison.
Hmm.
And with only 3 episodes left for the season, and season 2 already slated, they hope they actually finish this arc before season 2.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there will be some kind of resolution, I think, by the time the episode finale comes around for the series finale, um, or season finale. Um, I'll be interested to see how they wrap things up in episode 12.
Mm.
But yeah, so far, I mean, it's still quite intriguing. It's still kind of interesting to know where the connections are, and I'm intrigued to learn about this new character. That Take Homa had mentioned, this wealthy thug that you know that they think he is. Again, he might be someone who's pretending to be something he's not.
Mm.
That's maybe his persona is the wealthy thug, making it sound like he's some kind of a semi-criminal drug dealer, sleazy sort of persona. But maybe he's again another person working for the rebellion in secret, and that's just the persona he puts out. And we don't really know who he really is. So
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting character, this wealthy Chanduan banker, sort of banker. Mm. But
And we
he looks like someone who's involved in shady activities.
yeah. And
Yeah,
we see a bit more of the Senate as well with Mon Mothma.
yeah, and that was an interesting Senate session as well. That it looks like she doesn't really have a lot of senators that believe that it is an overreach. They seem to be kind of more on the side of the empire. So yeah, it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see how that plays out.
But let's just see the bit of Easter eggs. I think there are some Easter eggs.
Okay, cool. Let's go through them.
Let's see, Easter eggs. Probably not too many because we hardly went anywhere. Okay, just name drops locations.
Yeah. Dear God.
Steerguard and Spellhouse.
Hmm.
There's the new locations in the
And John
Disney Plus
Dara,
series. Yeah.
which is where Pac was Pac was first sort of noticed by the Empire because of him attending this meeting.
So John Dara is a planet that was name dropped from Star Wars: The Old Republic.
To Freen.
So it does seem like they're going off the other ownerships at the Old Republic, which is the game. Yep. And they say in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Relationship between Mon Mothma and Vel is similar to Satine Kryze and Bo-Katan. Yeah, so like sisters practically, I guess. Yeah, watch the Clone Wars if you want to know of those two. And Bo-Katan is in The Mandalorian. Secret costs of resisting the Empire. Yeah, we were talking about that. It's kind of, yeah, as it says, a double life. Like, we don't really know who's with the rebellion or not yet. Like, for some characters, we know for sure. But characters like the ISB agent, the person who was talking to her about it, and some of the other characters, we're still not too sure. Like, some of the Imperials could be secretly rebellion.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting a bit of hints to that anyway. That's false when people listen to one another. That's just, yeah. It's just proper communication. Interrogation scene shines light on Leia's heroism. Yeah, considering about the interrogation, like Leia didn't break, even as a kid. Because we see that happen in like
even when she was captured
in the Obi-Wan show.
And she was only like 10 back then. Only 10 years old.
So actually there was hardly any Easter eggs at all. Like some mentions here and there and just some subtle hints of stuff, but
yeah,
otherwise not too much things of a proper Easter egg anyway. It is a shorter episode, but yeah, annoyingly it was a slower episode still again.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just go straight to our scores. I think we covered pretty much everything of the show.
Okay. I think, yeah, I mean, it's intriguing, but again, a slow one. So I think I'll probably give it, probably the same 6.5 as I did with the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I'd probably give it about a 6. It was okay, but for a show like this, it is just they're dragging it a bit too much.
Yeah. I do like to have a little bit more action. I'd like to see the prison break happening.
Yeah.
That would be the action-packed episode, I think.
Yeah, but considering that there's a Star Wars show, we only got like out of 9 episodes so far, we got like only 2 real full proper action-packed episodes.
Yeah.
So that's like 2 out of 9 that were action-packed.
Yeah.
Not a good track record so far. So I give this series a 6. We'll just see what IGN gives it as well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though in the later episodes, because they might just sort of pack it in a little bit towards the end.
Yep. So IGN says the grown up television show tackling complicated issues. Yeah, it's definitely not for kids. Kids won't really understand all the political.
Yeah, and that might probably be slow as well. So it's probably not their thing if they're wanting an action oriented series.
Yeah,
this is not it. this is not going to be enough action for them.
Yeah. But
So
it's actually kind of interesting as well because this IGN review is like shorter than most of the other reviews as well.
mm,
But they give it an 8.
mm,
But again, like there's not really much to say about the show right now because hardly anything really happened.
yeah, so I think it's more of a slow burn kind of thing.
And hoping for the next few episodes to be at least more
Yeah,
intriguing.
yeah. I think they're building out to some kind of action for
Yeah,
sure because
for sure.
they're ratcheting up the tension. So I can see that they're building up to something. So yeah, that'll be interesting. What happens, the prisoners are just about ready to riot. I think we gotta get ready for like um a prison break episode, I think.
Yeah,
And then we'll see what happens, if whether that happens next episode or not.
yeah. But guess we'll figure that out in the next episode.
Mm,
And we just watched episode 2 of Tales of the Jedi.
yeah. So that's
So we're
interesting.
just going slowly through Tales of the Jedi, just
Mm,
even though all the episodes are out right now,
mm,
we'll just slowly go through them with each Andor episode.
yeah. I'm
And
really enjoying it so far. I mean, interesting to see, these other kind of backstories of well-known characters. Um,
so we see Qui-Gon Jinn and Dooku.
yeah, so Count Dooku, before before we knew him, in was it Revenge of the Sith? Um,
Yeah,
so seeing what he was like before, as a Jedi Master, training up Qui-Gon Jinn, and interesting to see Qui-Gon Jinn as a Padawan, what he was like. Um, yeah,
definitely a lot wiser already than
yeah,
Dooku at that time.
and I
And
think when I look at what his character was like in this episode, and later on, um, it feels like he hasn't changed. Like even though he'd gotten older and he was training his own Padawan, he was training Obi-Wan. It's still the same character. Like I can see that straight away, that he is consistent with his character.
yeah, especially since they got Liam Neeson back to do the voice.
Mm.
But I think they might have de-aged the voice as well.
Yeah, he definitely sounds younger here. You can still kind of hear the accent, but it's a lot fainter. Um, and it's more, yeah, he sounds younger. He definitely sounds younger, like a young man in his 20s rather than,
But I wonder who voiced
you know.
Dooku this time.
Yeah, he actually sounds a lot like Alan Rickman. He has that sort of voice.
I could check that up, but the original voice actor was Christopher Lee, and the actual live action one was Christopher Lee.
Mm.
Unfortunately, he passed away. I think
I
was it
think
2015?
yeah, it sounds a bit like a mix of Christopher Lee and Alan Rickman. I don't know who did the voice originally for Dooku. Was it Christopher Lee you're saying?
Yeah, Christopher Lee.
Okay.
He was kind of old at the time as well, but
Yeah.
I remember he passed.
Yeah, he also passed, unfortunately. But so they couldn't have brought him back in if this was after he passed. So
But yeah, I just checked it up. Like, died in 2015.
mm.
But who voiced it in episode 2?
But when was the voice done for episode 2? It would have been done later than 2015, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it seems like Count Dooku, someone named Corey Boson.
Hmm.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't know. Yeah. But it's quite a distinctive voice as well. I think they tried to make it kind of close to Christopher Lee's voice as well.
It sounds similar, but you could definitely tell it wasn't him.
Mm.
because Christopher Lee's was a lot deeper as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, but then again, Count Dooku is younger here as well, so maybe they don't want to make his voice sound too old.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, but they can get Sam Jackson for for Mace Windu once we
Yeah,
see him later in the show.
yeah,
But it actually does also seem like each episode is its own little contained episode.
yeah. This is definitely like a self-contained standalone episode. So yeah, it's very interesting to see, yeah, what they were like, and also what the state of, I guess, like what the relationship was between the Senate and the Jedi as well at that
Hmm.
time. That they were very much considered the protectors of the Senate. It's kind of interesting that that's how they thought of them rather than what Count Dooku said, which was that we're actually protectors of the Republic. We're protectors of the people. But that's not what the perception was for the senators. They thought, oh, you kind of on our side. You're on our side,
Yeah,
but the senators are supposed to be on the people's side. They're supposed to be representing their people.
yeah.
But
So that senator was way off track.
but that senator has completely become corrupted, like Count Dooku is saying. He has become so far removed from his own people
Yeah.
that like he had let it get to this state, to the point where his own people were forced to kidnap his son just to get his attention. that the
And yeah,
neglect was so, like he was so neglectful of them, and
yeah.
his own son had never even visited that place, that which is supposed to be the place he's representing. That's like the local MP never being around. Like that's just crazy.
Yep, and pushing their own agenda.
Yeah, you're never in your own electorate. You've never talked to people. Even his own son was really shocked at the state of the people,
Yeah,
like
and even
the
the
living
son
conditions.
agreed. They he doesn't hold it against them that he was captured.
Yeah,
Like he even eventually agreed with them.
yeah. And I think he could sort of understand when he saw the state that they were living in, the living conditions,
Yeah,
how much the
and
town had deteriorated. um yeah.
and we could also see Dooku's like dark side already there.
And you could
Effectively.
see it coming out. That's right, that hint of that he could be overzealous, in um just in his own, he's very principled, but he can be overzealous in enforcing that he's willing to go that far. It was like basically choking the senator.
Yeah, which normally Jedi's don't do the whole voice
They don't do the
choking.
choking thing, like except for Anakin. We see Anakin doing that, but
But I guess once they start going to the dark path, we do know that Dooku ended up being Dark Tyrannus.
yeah. So we kind of see where that sort of was beginning to emerge.
And even like Anakin Skywalker, he became Darth Vader.
That's right. That seems to be like the pattern, with sort of a former Jedi turned to the dark side.
Yeah, so it does seem to show that similar pattern of that those dark side patterns end up changing them to
Mm,
go bad.
yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting how they are showing it here.
Mm,
And we'll see more of Tales of the Jedi later.
mm.
Overall, yeah, we'll just score this episode as well. Tales of the Jedi.
Mm.
Yeah, they give this episode a 7. It's fairly solid.
I like this too. It's definitely 7 for me too.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a really good episode.
yeah, really contained
Really,
episode.
yeah. There was enough, tension and action going on there, for a short film sort of thing,
Yeah,
like a standalone.
For about 11 minutes, yeah.
But there's a lot of character as well that you can see. So the characters are still well developed, even in a short time frame. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, like even the Tales of Jedi episode, in terms of an arc, they covered like from the beginning right to the end.
Yeah,
within 11 minutes.
Yeah, there was a full story there, conflict and resolution and everything. So
compared to Andor,
mm.
it wasn't complete after like nearly 40 minutes.
Mm. And you still didn't really have much of a resolution, sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely, yeah, no, it's pretty concise in the storytelling. But they packed a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
I think they really thought quite hard filming and creating Tales of Jedi.
Mm.
So it was kind of a long time coming.
Mm.
But the story so far, after 2 episodes, is quite good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the other episodes, so
okay, all right.
Yeah. Usually I watch ahead, but this one, they just watch it as we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fairly good.
Mm.
And I think that's about it.
Yeah. Bill, James, Jeff, you guys have any comments or want to give your scores?
Yeah, I'll give it. We watched 2 things, right? Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Andor and Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. I reckon around 7 for both.
For both?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Tales of the Jedi more for this.
Yeah.
For this.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Same.
This time.
We get all
slightly
the
more, you're right
action
about
in
that.
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely
agree with that.
much more.
The Jedi one is a
Andor.
little bit better. Yeah. You know the Jedi one, is it a one-off or is it a series?
It's a series.
It's Tales of the Jedi.
But
It's
they're
6 episodes.
standalone.
Oh, I see.
Essentially,
How many
the 6
Yeah.
episodes, they're all released.
Yeah. It's a series of standalone stories. So it's not like a series where it's one story over the whole season. It's like different stories.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It should be good then, I guess. Yeah.
Mm.
Something a bit different. Yeah. See how it goes.
Yep. So
And there's
we'll
3 episodes. Yeah.
so we'll do the same thing next week as well.
Yeah.
Andor
Okay.
and another episode of Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We may or may not watch 2 episodes of Tales of the Jedi next week, depending on time.
Yeah, maybe not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see
Maybe
how
not.
long the Andor episode is next week, and see if we can do maybe 2 Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Especially if there's not a lot of Easter eggs in the Andor episode, which there generally aren't that usually in the Andor episodes, and we probably have to do 2.